Brodes Media.
I just witnessed open practice to the fans last night, and seeing 50,000 people fired me the fuck up. I can't sugarcoat it. Seeing Saquon Barkley with his Eagles uniform on, with that helmet, admiring all the fans that traveled, all the fans that stayed out there and partied all day long, tailgated just to get their feet wet. They were doing all sorts of bonkers things. I mean, I'm getting notifications on my phone that says, stay inside. It's too hot. You might not make it. And then you just see Kelly Green, Midnight Green, maybe even the black Brian Dawkins jerseys. Let's go! Let's go! And that's what makes us special. That's what makes us the best in the world. And you could tell that Saquon Barkley wasn't accustomed to that passion. Joe Shane up there all confused. Hard Knocks, making them look silly. No. And he's experienced it on the other side. He's felt the fan base and the hatred and the despising of that blue. So I'm sure he was aware to some level. But it's different when we're on your side. It's different when we have your back and you get to experience it from that level. And Dave Zangaro of NBC Sports Philadelphia had a pretty cool shot that he posted on his Twitter of Saquon truly soaking it in. It was one of those moments where he was almost admiring maybe his journey to get here, the aspirations of actually winning a Super Bowl. The Giants can talk all they want about them maybe being good and they're not as bad as people perceive and blah, 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 blah. There's a big difference between actually having the intensity and the fire to actually go out and do it, and the talent to go out and do it. The talent being the key word here. There's one man I have to thank for me flipping a total 180 over the last few weeks. I've had trouble, obviously. If you've been a listener here, you understand that I've pretty much been ripping the Sirianni dynamic for quite some time because I couldn't shake the 2023 ending of the season. It broke me for a while, and I was having a difficult time getting over it. Now that I'm finally watching practices and hearing what beat reporters are saying about the way the offense is clicking and just the beauty of Jalen Hurts right now and his ability to run efficiently Kellen Moore's offense, where you think that there'd be more growing pains with another new offensive coordinator. So much more terminology. It's 95% new. At least that's what the quarterback told us early on, even if the head coach somewhat tried to debunk it as much as humanly possible. And he is on a different tear right now. The only time Jalen Hurts is, quote, missing passes, or I should say having incompletions, is when he puts it right on the money, right in the breadbasket, and there's a drop. Other than that, he's perfect every single time. It's right on the money every single time. We're talking weeks now. Okay, not just one practice. Weeks, consistency. Jalen Hurts is making this a lot easier of a transition for me, is essentially what I'm getting at here. Watching Jalen ball out, lead this team, and clearly upset about how he was getting knocked publicly. What was it? Acho, he's been running his mouth nonstop about how Jalen's never put the team on his back. He's just a product of a good team. What a moronic thing to say. I mean, stupid thing to say, as if Jalen, during that 2022 run, didn't have a huge impact by not turning the football over, by, I don't know, being a big-time general for that offense. Yeah, their defense had 70 sacks, and that was a monster part of their greatness, but I'm not going to knock what Jalen was doing that year. I mean, Dak Prescott has had talent around him all the time. Dak Prescott has failed to win playoff games nonstop. So if I'm watching Jalen go on a run 2 years ago of beating teams in the playoffs, and Acho's even bringing up, well, I mean, the 49ers get clown, hater is what it is. The disrespect to the greatness of Jalen Hurts is funny. Jalen's coming off of a, quote, down year. The NFL top 100 list puts him where? 15. Okay. These are the players that are in the trenches. These are the guys that are taking the field every Sunday and, putting on the cleats, putting on the helmet, putting on the shoulder pads, and taking the gridiron. And they feel, even on a down year, yeah, this Jalen dude's a different animal. And even ranking him in front of Dak. That's why when you get these stupid lists and you don't even have Jalen in a conversation of one of the best 3 quarterbacks in the entire NFC, and Jared Goff and Dak Prescott is ahead of him, it's silly. It's nonsense. But what's really eye-opening to me, not that I really want to focus on our baseball team right now with my nerves and my energy heading into this West Coast swing, it's pretty wild about a month ago how we were 180 on both of these teams. Think about it. 1 month ago, well, actually, the Phillies have been playing bad baseball for 2 months. That's how tragic it's been. So I might have to fix my timeline here. Regardless, there was once a time where no matter if it was 640, 710, 740, 910, 1010, 940, whenever first pitch was, it was time to lock in and make sure you see every single pitch. Now, I still do that now. The difference was I was happy then. And I despised the Eagles and the current state of the franchise. Fast forward to where we are now, which is early August, and it's Jalen Hurts being a workhorse, not missing throws ever. And it's me feeling good about what this offense can be in the explosion of the Eagles with Kellen Moore. And how I feel that teams are going to struggle mightily to try and stop them and try to put them in a spot where their offense can compete. Think about it. If the Phillies or the Eagles are going to be putting up 38 points, if they're going to be scoring high 30s, AJ, Devontae Goddard's killing people in the red zone. You even have Johnny Wilson, almost 6'7" out there. And Zach Berman is even saying, this dude's really in the mix. It's not just random, let me just throw guys in with the ones whenever I feel like it, just to give them a taste to see what different speeds like. No. He's actually seriously in the mix. And if you think of Paris Campbell and you think of Johnny Wilson and you think of who else is in there? Britton Covey's a name that's in there. And there's one more that I'm thinking, super speedy guy, John Ross. They all bring different elements. And if you can line up some of these wide receivers differently in these packages next to a Devontae or next to an A.J. Brown, there's so many different skill sets there for you to pick on and pluck in and throw in there. And if you're a defense, not that your third wide receiver is your number one goal here to stop. It's not the objective. But if you're constantly trying to check A.J. Brown to make sure he doesn't destroy you, and by the way, you got skinny Batman tiptoeing his way by the sidelines with one of the most outrageous toe taps we've seen. More times than not, there's a chance for you to fall asleep at the wheel, and here's a third wide receiver. And now you have to figure out matchup-wise. You got a big body in Wilson. You got speed in John Ross. You got yards after the catch. I mean, there's just so many things that you could do here. And this is our role player. That's where the offense is. That's how deep and how many weapons you have to choose from. That's just almost a possibility in your role player position, let alone your stars. Based off of last year and how it all transpired, we needed a kick in the ass. We needed a serious wake-up call. And as much as I want to give the head coach a lot of love and appreciation, saying, this falls on Nick's shoulders, and he's one of the ones to set the tone, and he's definitely in play here. This is no knock on Nick. I've been down on Nick, but I'm not taking shots at Nick by saying this. What I really want to do is almost emphasize where the room is, because, you lost Fletcher Cox and you lost Jason Kelce, which are huge leaders and huge parts to what this Eagles franchise has been for my entire lifetime. And I do think Nick is a part of that culture change of the aggressiveness in OTAs and, just the mentality of working hard here, getting over last season's failures, and understanding that that's not who we are, and we have to make a statement league-wide and forget about what it means to other people, but for ourselves, because we understand that we are better than what we put on the football field through those last final 6 or 7 games or so. A lot of that stems, though, from Jalen, from AJ, because you could tell they're doing the work. And if you can't keep up pace with that, you're going to slip away.